Before we do that, though, I just want to give Dave an opportunity to share some thoughts on the short Trek shorts. We've now seen all 4 of them.
Yep.
I've talked about those. Yeah, we did the live streams with PJ and Starfleet Boy. If you haven't seen those are on the YouTube channel. Please feel free to check them out and comment and let us know your thoughts on the short Treks. But Dave, we have all 4 of those now, or in the past, in the rearview mirror.
Yep.
So just do you want to go by one by one, or just give like a general?
Let's just file through them.
Okay. The first one was Runaway with Tilly and like the alien queen she hangs out with.
Yep.
There's gonna be spoilers in this, by the way, for the people in overseas who haven't seen.
They're only 20 minutes. Go watch them. If you're
they're
overseas,
not available everywhere.
They can pirate over there too, like Orions would.
Yeah. We shouldn't officially say that, but
yes, I don't officially say that, but unofficially
do that.
I never pirate anything. Like I don't. So I actually don't really recommend it. I was just being flippant.
But they're getting kind of ripped off. So
yeah. Just the way we are by CBS All Access and the Man.
Not that we can tell you to go pirate that if you're in another country, but
there are always infinite diversity and infinite combinations.
First one, Runaway.
I liked it. I know that some people had some issues with this one because it's actually I don't know quite what all the issues are, but it felt to me like what would have been could have been a strong like full length episode kind of was a little bit hurt by being crushed down into like 20 minutes or 15 or whatever it was. But I loved seeing Tilly again and just getting some disco after, months without. I liked seeing her mom in there. I thought it was a little bit of a slightly contrived coincidence that her particular family situation would happen to come to bear on this situation with the Queen and all that. And it felt like it kind of wrapped up too neatly. But I thought it was fun.
Okay, and then we have the second short Trek was the Michael Chabon one, Calypso.
Right. Right, so this is the one where is the guy, he's a soldier in the future and ends up taken in by the AI of a computer.
Kraft, I believe the character's name. Like the cheese.
That's an interesting way to put it, yes.
We're all named after cheeses in the future. It's like Kraft, and he has like a wife named Velveeta.
Right.
And they have a son named Monterey Jack.
Just like on Chip and Dale's
Rescue Rangers, yeah.
So I thought this was a well-written episode that did not need to exist. Or it was weird to me to make it a Star Trek episode when it really was just an interesting sci-fi episode, a little sci-fi story. It seemed very tenuous in its connection to Trek. And I there's a part of me that kind of disliked it, even though it was very well made, and I thought the lead guy was very charismatic. But there was a part of me that felt like I was watching that movie Passengers or something like that, and unless it has some sort of tie-in, I don't know, it could have just been any sci-fi story.
Okay. And then the third short Trek was entitled The Brightest Star, featuring Saru.
Maybe my favorite of them, thinking of on it. There's something about seeing the planetary surface of his people. The weird thing about it for me was that I liked the episode, but I almost wondered if, like, continuity-wise, it didn't really line up with the Predator scenarios that he described his people being in. I had always pictured that they were, like, probably cave-dwelling creatures. Like, that part seemed accurate. But I assumed that there were literally large animals tracking him down and eating them. Instead, it was more like he was trapped in this kind of cult-type situation where just by rote his people would teleport off to be sacrificed as if to, like, a demon or a monster, but we know is some sort of higher tech civilization that's using them for what purposes, I guess we don't actually know. It was weird for me to imagine that, like, doing it so long that genetically they became a prey species. That when it was really more about, like, sacrifice than it was being hunted.
Now, a similar criticism. Although I'm hoping that we see more of that planet in a season 2 of Discovery.
What I liked about it was I liked seeing Saru. I liked that his it highlighted his intellect and his clever escape from them. And there was this kind of sense of palpable, it was like kind of dread and nastiness to their situation, and the notion that they would learn to live with it is pretty horrific. They've done similar types of stuff in TOS episodes, where war becomes this game of math and stuff like that. But I thought it was effective, and each episode maybe has something I am not quite wild about it, but this one, for whatever reason, registered the most overall. I also like sort of survivalist stuff, so yeah, maybe my favorite of them.
Okay, and then finally we have the final short trek, The Escape Artist, starring Harry Mudd.
Yep.
Harcourt Fitton Mudd himself.
I think it's always going to be fun to see Rainn Wilson as Mudd. You pointed out that this one he felt more like, so he's like captured in this, trying to talk his way out of it. Lots of flashbacks to him trying to talk his way out of other situations, and generally failing, only to kind of emerge as a bit craftier than he looked in the end. You pointed out, though, that his kind of exasperated, desperate, deal-making guy was closer to the TOS version of him. And I think that's true. I thought that in some ways he was almost a little too dangerous and effective in his previous disco appearance, even though it's one of my favorite episodes. I thought it's a really well-done episode, but it just seemed a little removed from who he would become. And this is interesting in that it seemed to bridge that a little bit more. Does it chronologically take place after that? Or do people know when it takes place?
This, the short trek episode, The Escape Artist?
Yeah.
It takes place, I would assume it's after season 1 of Discovery.
Because he had been reunited with his wife at that point.
Yeah, but I'm sure he got away to go do more. He had schemes. He had schemes he needed to pull off.
It seems like the way he lives. Anyway, Rainn Wilson was great in it, and it was fun to see some other aliens in there, from Tellarites to Orions. I thought some of his blather was a little bit kind of obvious, sort of wheeling and dealing. But as you point out, that is a little bit who he was on TOS too. This guy, how does he ever pull off a con if he's like that?
He's not subtle with his
I guess he usually
conniving ways.
Right. Do you think, have they ever presented before that he makes himself out to be unsubtle precisely because he's running a larger con?
That could be part of his scheme, is that he presents himself as a buffoon so that he gets underestimated.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense, and if they were to run with that a little bit, I wouldn't mind it.
And that was kind of the theme of that short trek episode. You think that, oh, this guy is terrible, he's using the same lies, the same poor excuses, all these times he's captured because he's so incompetent, but then he wins in the end. He pulled off what he was going for. So
right, and also they did. It's a neat tie-in to the androids that would be there for I'm Mudd.
Yes,
in the original series. Fun episode, probably for me. The vying for first place as I think about it now. And then I think I'd put the Tilly episode right after that, and maybe the other one in fourth place. Mm-hmm. I know that I've heard from friends, and I can't remember if you're one of those who are you a second episode is the favorite?
That's my
your favorite is now the Mudd one.
My list is the opposite of their release order.
Okay,
so it goes 4, 3, 2, 1.
Interesting. Yeah.
Escape Artist, Brightest Star, Calypso, and Runaway.
So for you, this has been an exercise in every one being better than the last.
Yes, which was kind of similar to my experience watching season 1 of Discovery.
Mm-hmm. I guess mine has jumped around more, but I've found all of them to be pleasant experiences. Even the one that seemed the least Trek-like was a well-told tale.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm for more of them. I'm down with this.
And be sure to let us know what your thoughts are on those. And if you want to see what I had to say, just check out the short trek videos.
I forgot we're on camera.
The live reactions we did. Yeah, Dave is shaking his head at me, but I'll put a playlist together with all those. How about that? So that should be easy to find.
Right, that's a good idea.
I'll put a link in the description if you're watching this on YouTube.